Peace. I'm Tia Keneal, and I'm here to give just a very brief Dharma talk about the full scope of the practice of yoga, and also the first two limbs of yoga, the yamas and the niyamas. So, one thing I really want to encourage you and any of my students to remember is that yoga is so much more than what you do on a mat. And I know we've been hearing this a lot. You've probably been hearing this a lot from different um, practitioners or yoga teachers. Um, However, it's true. It's not some cliche statement. There really is a such thing as practicing yoga off the mat or taking your practice beyond the mat. And so when we actually look at what the full scope or the full practice of yoga is, essentially, and specifically when we're looking at hatha yoga, there are 8 limbs to yoga. Ashtanga also teaches that there are 8 limbs of yoga. And so um, the physical practice of yoga, asana, is actually one of 8 parts of what yoga is when you're looking at the full practice. And it's the third thing, the third limb that's listed. And you can Google it like 8 limbs of yoga, and you'll see that the limbs are always talked about or listed in a particular order. And so to me, um, that means that we should be practicing these limbs in a particular order. The first 2 limbs are the yamas and the niyamas. The yamas uh, address how we relate to the world around us and how we interact with others and other living creatures and just how we are conducting ourselves, right? Outwardly. The niyamas talk about how we are inside, within us, dealing with self study and cleansing and stuff like that. So we're beginning with talking about the yamas and the niyamas this month in March, with a very exclusive look at the first yama, which is ahimsa. And ahimsa is non harming or non violence. So when you start getting into ahimsa, that's spelled ahimsa, um, it really speaks to having a practice of releasing judgment of self, which helps you release judgment of other people. It also addresses or creates space for us to practice unconditional love and compassion. There has to be some balance there. There has to be an acknowledgement of the root of what causes us to cause harm to ourselves or other people. And keep in mind that causing harm um, doesn't just mean causing physical harm. We can cause harm to ourselves or other people through our thoughts and our words. And so ahimsa talks about all of that, like addresses all of that. So being non-harming in your thoughts, words, and actions towards yourself and other people, that is the practice of ahimsa. And I think that's all I'm gonna get into for now. Um, Feel free to comment any questions or any insights, anything you would like to add, or you know, questions. I already said questions, but yeah. So that is in a nutshell ahimsa. And as we move through the month of March, I'll be posting videos that go in more depth as far as ahimsa goes, but I wanted to go ahead and introduce to you what it is, and give a better idea of what the full scope of the practice of yoga is. And so you have the yamas and the niyamas, you have the physical practice, you have pranayama, um, you have withdrawal of the senses, you have focusing your attention on one point, you have meditation, and you also have samadhi, which is bliss, enlightenment, joy, essentially um, an integration of all of the limbs, which allows you to be more connected to the divine, which helps you come into a state of bliss, enlightenment, joy, and that is also our natural state. So the goal of yoga is to bring us to our natural state as often as possible, and it gives us tools to help us remain there for as long as we possibly can, which sometimes is a second and sometimes it's longer. It just depends on what's happening within our bodies energetically, and also out around us that affects us. So that's it. That's all I have today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Feel free to visit my website, that is tiacanil.com. um, Follow me on Instagram at Tia Canil. I have a Facebook page, Tia Canil Yoga. Yeah, so um, in the meantime, stay tuned. There'll be more videos going up about ahimsa and the yamas and the niyamas as we move through the rest of this year, actually. We'll finish up 2020 in December with the last niyama. And so I'm really excited to teach this, and also learn new things about the ethics and the philosophy of yoga. So I'm looking forward to sharing and evolving and growing with you. Again, if you have any questions or concerns or insights, feel free to comment below. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Again, my name is Tia Canil. And as always, I wish you peace, love, balance, and lots of soul. Thank you. Peace.